Hello and welcome to Business Africa, your most authoritative business program in Africa. I am Afolake Oyinloye. The top stories this week. Ethiopia inaugurates Africa's third largest hydroelectric dam to double its electricity output. And Central African economies diversify into the mining sector. Kenya begins construction of its first cruise ship terminal. Ethiopia recently inaugurated the third largest dam in Africa, a project that would allow it to almost double its energy capacity. But reports indicate that this could pose a threat to the livelihood of the locals as well as a UNESCO-listed lake in Kenya. Juliet, Bawuah and Ferdjani have more.
Ethiopia has inaugurated a hydroelectric dam that aims to double the country's electricity output. The Type 3 dam, which reaches some 243 meters in height, is the third largest dam in Africa and the biggest in a series built along the Omoro River. Authorities say the dam is expected to produce 1,870 megawatts of power, enough to sell energy abroad, including neighboring Kenya. The dam has been generating electricity for about a year. UNESCO has previously condemned the project, with other environmentalists also suggesting it will decrease water levels. The project designer, however, says the claims are not valid. The project has overcome challenges such as financial and environmental issues. Some people who think they have a concern for the environment have been downgrading the project rather than being reasonable. This hydroelectricity plant, with other ongoing projects, fulfills our domestic power needs. The government has also refuted suggestions that the dam is a leeway to ensure flow of water to cotton and sugarcane plantations. The dam is located about 350 kilometers southwest of Addis Ababa. It took 9 years to build and cost 1.5 billion euros, with 60% of funding from the China Exim Bank.
Joining us from France now is our Ethiopian correspondent Antoine Galindo on the line to shed more light on that issue. Welcome to the program. What's the economic viability of this dam?
The Chinese bank has funded the Juliet 3 dam by over 60%, while the remaining 40% has been contributed by the Ethiopian government. Its construction serves two things. The first objective is that it irrigates large industrial plantations, mainly sugarcane and cotton. This also includes Kura's project, which is a group of 4 sugar refineries that are capable of producing over 1.3 million tons per year. The second objective is to produce over 1,800 megawatts of electricity annually in order to meet the growing demand of investors in the country, and also to be distributed to neighboring countries that includes Kenya, Sudan and Djibouti. The construction of Juliet 3 as well as Renaissance Dam along the Nile is being done in the framework of series of 5-year plan, which aims to raise Ethiopia to the rank of middle-income countries by 2025. So Ethiopia has a huge water resource, and the government needs to invest a lot in it.
But everyone is not in support of this project. Its environmental impact is strongly questioned especially by the locals, if I'm correct.
Yes, it's true. You must know that the population that lives in the Omo Valley are essentially pastoralists who fully depends on the Omo River for their survival. After some studies, the Juliet 3 dam poses the risk eroding its banks, and that even affects vegetation, and therefore this will impoverish the downstream population. Therefore, basing on this, some scientists have actually raised an alarm. They have criticized the Ethiopian government for not having conducted an independent impact study. The government has even displaced some of the communities who were living around in those regions without even proper compensation. The Ethiopian government has, on the other hand, defended itself, saying that they had done an assessment with a firm funded by the World Bank. But the fact is that Addis Ababa considers its priorities, and that is to develop its industrial sector because the country has a great need of foreign currency. Therefore, there is need of electricity.
I presume the neighboring countries are equally affected by this dam.
Yes, nearly 90% of water in Lake Turkana comes from River Omo. Once again, scientists fear that the dam causes a decrease in water level in Lake Turkana and can have a disastrous consequences on the 200,000 people who depend on it for fishing. There are more than 60 species of fish, and this is one of the most ancient lakes in the world. Compared to 30 years, their number has totally decreased. But the Kenyan government is not opposed to the project, because you must also know that Nairobi will benefit by over 300 megawatts of electricity from Ethiopia at a considerable rate. Kenya also do have considerable energy need.
Well, thank you for joining us. Coming up, Kenya to get its first cruise ship terminal in Mombasa. Stay with us for the details.